Today we're learning to solve inequalities of the form x plus 4 is greater than 5, or something a bit more complicated that would look like this one that's sitting here. The aim is to find the number associated with the letter x or the letter n, whichever one we're using in that inequality statement. And solve means to find the values of x which make the inequality true, make it work. Okay, so the steps we're going to follow today are going to be the exact same as what we were doing with equations, so doing the same thing to one side as the other. We've only got one very important difference that's here, is that if we're dividing both sides or multiplying both sides by a negative number, the inequality sign is reversed round. So the sign would change from that there to that there if we divide, which is the one that we'll probably do more of, dividing by a negative number. And you'll see that as we go through some of the examples that I've got here. Now you've got the opportunity to freeze the video and just do them yourself and then check your answers once you get comfortable with it. I'll go forward and we'll do these 12 quick questions that are here, okay? Right then, so what we're asked to do is to solve the inequality x plus 4 is greater than 5, okay? So greater than 5, so I want to get the numbers to the right, letters to the left. So I'll subtract 4 from this side, subtracting 4 from that side there as well. Same to one side as the other, okay, remember? That'll eliminate that. Leaves me with an x is greater than 1. And that's my solution. So x is going to be equal to greater than 1, any number that's bigger than 1. Over here, we've got x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 5. So what we'll do here is subtract 4 from the left, subtract 4 from the right. What we'd get is, eliminating that one, x is greater than or equal to, and 5 subtracting 4 gives me 1. So the difference here is x is greater than 1, does not include 1 in this question here. X is greater than or equal to 1, which means it includes 1, 2, and so on from there. Okay, so any number that's greater than 1, okay, and equal to 1. Right, so for C, what we have is 2x is less than 8. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'm going to divide by 2. So I've got 2x, I'm going to divide it by 2. I've got 8 on this side and I'll divide that by 2. Now that's a positive number we're dividing by, so that problem that we have with dividing by a negative doesn't come into play, so the sign does not change, so it stays as it is. Remember, we divided by 2 to eliminate the 2's that are here, because 2 divided by 2 is 1, so 1x is less than, and 8 divided by 2 is going to be 4. So there's my solution there. So x is any number that's less than 4 but does not include 4. Right, let's go into D. So 5x is less than or equal to 30. Right, so what we'll do is we'll divide by 5 on both sides, and what I'll do is I'm dividing by a positive number, so the sign stays as it is in that direction there, and eliminating the 5's, x is less than or equal to, and that will be 6, because 30 divided by 5 is going to be 6. Okay, that's just come across, I think, all the signs so far that we're going to use here. So a greater than sign, greater than or equal to, a less than sign, and a less than or equal to sign. Okay, the one that we're not using here is does not equal, which is an equal sign with a line through it. We're not using that one in this case today. Right, let's go ahead and complete these questions. So you can freeze the video, remember, and do your own thing here, okay, and check your answers. Right then, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to divide by 4, okay, to try to get that 4 away from there. So we've got 4x on this side, divide it by 4. I've got negative 20, I'm going to divide that by 4. Because I'm dividing by a positive number, the sign stays as it is. I eliminate the 4's, so x is greater than, so minus 20 divided by 4, or 4 into 20 is going to give me 5. I've got one negative sign, so it's going to be negative 5. So x is greater than negative 5. Okay, so that's negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, 10, 100. So any number that's bigger than that. Right, here we go again. So I've got minus 7 this time, and I'll need to pay strict attention to the rule that's applicable for inequalities. I'm going to divide by 7 here, and it's the negative 7 that we're dividing by. And 21 divided by the negative 7. Now, because I'm dividing by a negative, the sign changes from and is less than or equal to to and is greater than or equal to, or just it changes its which way the arrow basically is pointing to. I'm going to eliminate the negative 7s here. So what I've got is I've got x is greater than or equal to, and 7 into 21 is going to give me 3. I've got one negative sign between the two of these, so it's going to be negative 3. Okay, so x is greater than or equal to negative 3. Right, moving on. Getting a wee bit more complex as we move forward. Got minus 9x is less than or equal to minus 36. So let's go and solve this one. So I'm going to be dividing the left-hand side by minus 9. So I'll divide the right-hand side by minus 9. Now, because I divided by a negative, remember we flip the sign so it changes to that direction there, eliminating the minus 9s. So x is greater than or equal to, so 9 into 36 goes 4 times. I've got a negative on the top and the bottom, so they'll cancel out, which will leave me with a positive, so x is greater than or equal to 4. Right, two-step equation here. So what I'd like to do is to get rid of this number here. So what I'll do is I'll take 17 away from the left, take 17 away from the right. Okay, so that's going to eliminate this part here. So that leaves me with 3x is greater than or equal to, and 2, take away 17, that takes me down to minus 15. Okay, I'll then divide by 3 these sides here. So I've got 3x, I'm going to divide it by 3, and I've got minus 15, and I'll divide that by 3 also. So I'm going to eliminate the 3's, that'll leave me with x is greater than or equal to 3 into 15 gives me 5. Got one negative sign there, so that'll be a negative that'll appear. So that's x is greater than or equal to negative 5. Right, so with this equation here, I'm going to try to get rid of the 4x that's on the right hand side and try to get it over to the left. So I'm going to subtract 4x from the right hand side, and in that I'm going to subtract 4x from the right hand side. So minus 5x, take away another 4x, well that's going to take me down, remember on the number line, to minus 9x. Okay, what I've got is the inequality sign like that there. I've got minus 18 that's sitting on the right hand side because these are eliminated. I'm going to divide now by minus 9. I'm going to flip the sign because I'm dividing by a negative, so it's going to go in that direction. Take that away there, that's eliminated. So that gives me 9 into 18 gives me 2, and the two negatives will cancel out, will give me a positive, so x is greater than 2. Okay, home stretch, just the last couple of questions that are here. Right, a bit more complex than the first ones that we've done, but certainly we're just going to apply the same rules as we go with these. So I've got, I'm going to multiply the bracket out first, okay? So just like we did with solving equations with multiplying out brackets, bracket first, okay? And remember, just to be careful here, that when we're multiplying this bracket out, that's a negative 1 or a minus 1 that's there, okay? So minus 1 times y gives me minus y, or minus 1y, minus 1 times minus 9, 2 positive, that would give me a positive 9 because of the two negatives that are multiplying there. Right, I don't want that negative y over on that side, so what I'll do is I'll add y to the right and I'll add y to the left. So 3y plus y gives me 2y plus 3, 2y plus y gives me 3y, sorry. This is eliminated, and that's 3 plus 9 gives me 12, and the sign is in that direction there. So I'll divide this side here by 3. Divide this side by 3. It's a positive number, so the sign stays as it is. That gets eliminated, so y is less than 3 into 12 goes 4. Right, getting a bit more complicated again. Okay, so multiplying the bracket out, let's go for that first of all. So that'll give me minus 2, that'll be plus 6x, and we'll get greater than 39. Okay, so when we work this one through, I'm going to gather these numbers together first. So it's 9 plus 6x is greater than 39. Don't want that 9 on the left hand side, so I'll subtract 9 from there, subtract 9 from the right hand side also. Eliminates that, that leaves me with 6x is greater than, and 39 subtract 9 gives me 30. I'm going to then divide the left hand side by 6 and the right hand side by 6. What that's a positive number, sign stays the same, eliminate the 6's there, that's x is greater than 5. Okay. And let's just check this one over. Let's just make sure that that's right there. So that's going to give me a -2. Yeah, that's 9. Take a 9. Yeah, that's pretty good there. Right then, let's do the last one. Last one here. And that should be you set up to try the questions that I've put in the SWAY document. Right, let's multiply the bracket out first. So -2 minus 5x greater than or equal to. That's going to be 32. And that's going to be plus 12x that's going to sit there. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll get rid of this 2 that's here, the -2, by adding 2 onto this side. I'll add 2 onto this side. So this gets eliminated, leaving with -5x is greater than or equal to 34 plus 12x. I'm going to eliminate the 12x because I want to get that more over to the left-hand side. So I'll subtract 12x from this side, subtract 12x from that side. That gives me, I'm starting at -5, I'm going down another 12, so that takes me down to -17x that's there. That's greater than or equal to, this is eliminated, so that leaves me just with 34 on the left-hand side. So what we'll do with this one, what we'll do is we'll divide both sides by -17, okay? When we divide by a negative, remember the sign flips, so instead of pointing that direction, it's going to point that direction there. I'm going to eliminate the -17s, that leaves me with x is less than or equal to 17 into 34 goes twice. I've got one negative sign, so that'll be one negative that appears there. Okay. I can see a mistake that I've actually made. Is that right? No, I've not. I thought I'd made a mistake here, which I don't think I have now. That's good. Phew. Right, so going ahead with this, we're going to go into the worksheet that I've provided for you. What I'd like you to do is to do your best by trying to work through the inequalities. Make sure you take notice when you're dividing by a negative. You make sure that you change that sign from one direction to the other. Okay, so good luck with inequalities. One more video to go on problem solving when we're using equations. Okay, cheers.